girls should enjoy it too, not just the guy. And if it's 2 girls, then both of them should enjoy it. If it's 2 guys, both of them should enjoy it. Whatever you are and identify as, both people should enjoy it. Otherwise, there's no point to doing it in the first place. That's definitely something that I wish I would have realized earlier, that I'm not broken, it's the other person who doesn't know the fuck they're doing. Well, I didn't know what I was doing either, but when you're with someone and they only focus on themselves, it's difficult to kind of believe that this is not how it should be. You think that, oh, this is how it should be, okay, I'll just lay here and be like... So, I wish I was confident in the fact that it should be good for me too. And that took me a very long time to realize, because no one ever cared to show me or tell me or inform me that that was the case. So, for us normal people, regular, normal, I don't know what word you want to use, that cannot get sponsored, do you have any tips on how to save money when it comes to makeup and beauty stuff? For me personally, I'm not a huge fan of experimenting, trying new stuff. If you are, saving money is difficult, because if you want to try a bunch of new stuff, you don't know if you like them or not, and then you just end up buying a bunch of crap that you might not like. And if you like experimenting, then you have to do that, and I don't really know what to tell you, but I personally am not a huge fan of experimenting. If I find something I like, I'm gonna stick with it. What I do is I invest. I have had, like, the good, really good shadows that I have, I've had them for years. They probably expired a while ago without me knowing. You don't buy the cheapest crap at H&M, because it's crap. So my main tip is save up and get good crap, because getting shitty crap will just get more expensive in the long run. So buy good stuff. If you don't know what good stuff is, then watch YouTube, because most YouTubers are honest when they tell you what's good and what's not. And if you're Swedish, huge tip, Therese Lindgren, hon gör mycket budgetjakten, smink, tjotahejti. Hon testar billigt smink, alltså budgetsmink, och hon är så himla ärlig och visar och är väldigt pedagogisk när det gäller att visa varför saker är
Pornography is the undeniable livelihood of not only the internet, but the world. Well, the lucky parts of the world. It's the ultimate pastime. Hardcore, softcore, all sorts of fetishes. There's almost no escaping it. It has given us memorable performers such as Lisa Ann, Tori Black, and as of late, Mia Khalifa. It's the one thing that most of us undeniably have in common. With that being said, Rule 34 on the internet states, if something exists, there's a porn version of it. Indeed, the meteoric rise of the internet and the comparatively mainstream acceptance of pornography has meant that all manner of lurid desire is catered for, including those of the really invested video game enthusiasts. And that's the topic at hand today, the top 8 video game porn parodies.
Option!
One moment.
Tomb Raider XXX. Let's get the most obvious parody out of the way. Probably the hottest female character in video games, get into some guy's mind as a sexual object? Groundbreaking. What Michael Jordan is to the basketball court, Lara Croft is to video game females, the dominant game changer. Her sensual lips, long flowing hair, and curves have captivated gamers all over the world. But Lara doesn't have the looks. She crawls dark caves, solves difficult mysteries, and can seduce you with or without a gun. Rumors of a Tomb Raider movie reboot have been swirling around since forever, but mainstream Hollywood is obviously skilled in dragging its feet. Luckily for us all, Exquisite Films finished a reboot a few years ago. From writer-director Jordan Septo, Tomb Raider XXX stars Chanel Preston, who also played Wonder Woman in a Justice League porn parody, as the titular character. There's also another equally explicit Tomb Raider parody, a pro appropriately titled Womb Raider. Really? Womb Raider? We're making puns as well as porn parodies? Okay, guys. That has gained its fair share of notoriety over the years. Again, this is probably the least shocking porn parody on the list, but it still deserves a shout out.
To gradually take steps into the outside world.
Come Fighter. Holy shit, is this gonna be NSFW? Besides Pac-Man, there's also no more recognized arcade game than Street Fighter. It started a video game revolution and introduced the world to what a fighting game could truly be. It's action-packed, it's deep, and it's beautiful. And behind the game are its characters, which are some of the greatest and most interesting in all of gaming history. The Street Fighter's plethora of colorful characters have taken on lives of their own, and from hardcore players to those who sit back and watch, everyone has their favorite. Street Fighter has subsequently lived through many sequels and spin-offs, as well as merchandising. However, nobody expected this Street Fighter parody starring Marta LaCroft and Nick Marino from Cum Ladder's specialty side spoof porn as Ryu and Jochin. Parodies of Ryu and Chilling respectively. You know, can't get that copyright if you know what I mean. One of the most memorable moments of this parody include Chin whooping her opponent into submission with her massive breasts. Quite the spectacle indeed.
I'll find it.
Erotic Bayonetta. Now, of course, there was no way I could have forgot this game. It's the only thing Nintendo has going for it. Bayonetta is to Devil May Cry what Heavenly Sword is to God of War. A fairly unashamed ripoff. Demons, plantines, yada yada. Though, just to be clear, if you take guns, a tight open back leather jumpsuit, high heels, and wrap it all extremely tightly around a hot girl, a certain demographic of gamers will no doubt enjoy it very much. Plus the glasses. Oh, the glasses really do make it off. Actually, I think it's probably my favorite. However, this entry on the list is not actually a movie, it's a manga. Also, who's really surprised that they made a porn out of Bayonetta? But just like Womb Raider, it's still deserving of a shout out. Bayonetta is already sexualized. Heavily sexualized, super sexualized. The trailer for Bayonetta 2 never really introduced the character of hand in between her legs. Quite frankly, it's surprising that this wasn't a mod for the game itself. And well, that concludes Erotic Bayonetta. Now before we continue, guys and girls, this is NSFW content, so if for some reason you're at work, stop watching now and watch it in the bathroom instead. This is Biocock Intimate. Yes, I said Biocock Intimate. When BioShock Infinite was released to the masses in 2013, it definitely didn't disappoint. It has it all. Complex themes, a twisted sci-fi narrative, an incredible setting and characters, all the trappings of greatness. The ending was also one of the most multi-layered, head-scratching, slow-burn conclusions to a story in recent history. So how do you top that? Why? With a porn parody flash game hilariously titled Biocock Intimate, of course. The demo is currently available on Newgrounds and will allow you to play a single scene. This is not a site that normally features such lewd materials, but this is surprisingly well done, and it has, well, it really does look to the game, guys. Like, whoever animated this shit, Jesus Christ, you should be working with Disney. I don't know why you're making this. You should really be working with Disney, but should you try the game yourself? Well, it's obviously quite NSFW, but if you're looking for a good laugh or a good fapping, it's quite entertaining. Now here's where we start to get into the least obvious porn parodies, with the introductory character being Horror, aka World of Warcraft. Yes, I said Warcraft, not Warcraft. It's been a little over 10 years since the original World of Warcraft, was released to the masses in 2004. That's a decade long of looting, raiding, cloning, trolling, and lulz. At its peak, WoW had 12 million subscribers, and collectively, they logged over 1 billion hours of gameplay. The game has received 5 expansions and shows no signs of slowing down. Most video games are only talked about amongst gamers. World of Warcraft, however, is different. The sheer size and scope of Warcraft in and out of the game has led to instances where it has intersected with pop culture in numerous unconventional ways. The hilariously titled Warlore is one of those instances. Previously titled Warcraft, Warlore is no longer allowed to say they are based off the game World of Warcraft. However, that hasn't stopped them from making tons of high-quality fantasy porn videos that capture the very sexy essence of geek. If that's your thing, of course. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The Call of Duty franchise has come a long way since its debut in 2003. Over the years, the powers that beat the series were its polished graphics and engaging multiplayer.
You can't even fucking snipe. Shut your fucking trap, you fucking shit cunt.
I love it. Sure, the game maintains a format that isn't necessarily innovative, but that doesn't matter because the average gamer couldn't care less. This pornographic mod to Call of Duty Modern Warfare features porn star heavyweights Flower and Tucci, Bobby Starr, and Gratchy Glam. Who the heck are these people? And it's exactly what you would expect. It's all in there. Sneaking aboard a soaking wet tanker, taking a nuke to the face, and wading through the bush surrounded by Russian men. Only this time, all of those themes taking a completely different meaning. And while it's not certainly certain whether the characters in Modern Warfare or the development team actually know that the women exist, this parody clearly does. Super Hornier Brothers is a 2-part porn parody of the Super Mario series. Released in 1993 in anticipation of the Super Mario Brothers movie starring Bob Hopkins and John Leguizamo? John. The film features a man named Squeaky Hornio, played by the great Ron Jeremy, and his brother Ornio, parodies of Luigi and Mario, respectively, who fall into a computer's black void and are stuck there. They learn that the Princess Palina has been kidnapped by King Pooper, parodies of Peach and Browser, if you don't know what Mario is at all, and must be rescued. The distribution rights for the film were quickly bought by Nintendo, making any release impossible according to lead actor Jeremy. Due to its rarity and unusual history, the film is a collector's item and has attracted attention from several online entertainment sites. If you get a chance to actually watch the film, consider yourself lucky or unlucky, depending on how you view it. Now you don't get any more fucked up than this. This is the most ultimate porn parody of video game history. Brain Age. Yes, Brain Age. That game that you saw on TV on that one ad, that one night as a kid, and you couldn't afford a Nintendo DS, and you were angry at all the people that had one, and you were like, hey, we have that show? And you were like, no, maybe. Sorry, back in 2006, Dr. Ryuta Kawashima's Brain Age exercises took the gaming world by storm by introducing casual brain simulating activities for casual and non-casual gamers alike to try daily in order to sharpen their minds. Brain Age included math and speed quizzes, recognition, and memory. Sounds pretty sexy, am I right? Well, somebody somewhere had the gumption to turn a game that was meant to sharpen your cognitive abilities into a full-blown porno. It's called Shinpo Okataryo Otanano Ingural Training Tobayo. Sorry, got a bit cut away. I just really love Naruto. Which translates to, now listen carefully, dick drilling adults lewd word self-training. And stars adult film star Hikaru Wakana. Also, the DVD box says that it's a one-player video and it has unlimited continues. That's always a plus. But the burning question still remains, why the fuck does this shit exist?
You are not the boss of me. I'll ride on it.
Okay, seriously guys, porn, this is what you... Oh, okay. Well, at least you can't complain about my channel not being diverse. It's impossible to say exactly, but out of the roughly 850 million websites that exist today, everywhere from 10 to 30% are porn sites. That's between 85 and 255 million websites with adult content. You can compare that to the less than 50,000 porn sites that existed in the year 2000. I think the phrase "the internet is for porn" has never been more accurate. In May 2007, Disney Channel accidentally aired a porn video instead of the children's cartoon about the bilingual handyman with his talking tools that was supposed to air. I guess they got a different kind of handyman doing something other than talking with his tools. The #1 most searched word or phrase on porn sites worldwide this year was teen. At second place was MILF, third place goes to massage, and fourth place was hentai. In Hungary, the second most searched phrase was mom and son. In the Czech Republic, the most searched word was sister. Iceland can't go without some BDSM, pumps, breast injections, and women wearing strap-ons. What the fuck? China almost ironically loves their Japanese neighbors more than themselves. But don't worry, there are normal people in the world, like Sweden for example, with a completely averagely dirty track record. When a group of researchers in Canada wanted to compare the behavior of men who watch porn with men who have never seen porn at all, there was a slight problem. They couldn't find any men in their 20s who had never watched porn. North Korea is in general not a very fun country to be living in, as it's run by dictatorship. So it should come as no surprise that if you're caught viewing porn, the punishment is death. And in South Korea, you have to use your social security number to be able to view any type of pornographic material online. The porn industry is more powerful than you might think, so much so that it's had major parts to play in the so-called format wars. The format wars refer to when society goes from one digital format to another. For example, studies have shown that the porn industry is one of the major reasons we had VHS tapes and not something called Betamax tapes. The same goes for the Blu-ray discs. If it weren't for the porn industry, the standard by now could easily have been HD DVD instead. If you're a guy and have goals of becoming a male porn star, your chances are slim to none, as it's extremely difficult. The pay isn't the best either, as the average male makes about $40,000 per year. Women, on the other hand, can make up to $250,000 per year. The richest porn star is Jenna Jameson, who has a net worth of about $30 million. However, if you're a guy and you're willing to do some gay porn, you will earn up to 3 times as much as you would in straight porn. A group of researchers showed men and women various videos of sexual explicit content to find out what did and did not turn them on by monitoring their brain activity. They found that men have a pretty clear target, so to speak. Straight men got hot looking at women, gay men were turned on by watching other men, but it's a little fussier when it comes to women though. Straight women was turned on by viewing pretty much any kind of sexual video. Guy on girl, guy on guy, girl on on girl, and even monkeys getting some action. But when they were asked about it after the tests were completed, they denied being aroused by most of what had been shown. When someone watches pornography, what is it that captures their attention the most? Most people would probably say the genitals. I mean, it just makes the most sense, right? But according to research, that is not the case, at least not for men. The thing that men focus on the most is actually the face. Surprisingly enough though, the thing that women focus on the most is in fact the genitals. However, women who are on the pill didn't really look at anything specific at all. They spent the most time looking at the surroundings as well as the clothing of the actors. There's a rule on the internet, Rule 34, which states that if you can imagine it, there's a porn for it. It's of course mostly used in a more comedic sense, but it is frighteningly true when you start to look into it. There's porn specifically made for pandas. There's a porn in panda suits. There's basically a porn for every cartoon show you can imagine, like American Dad, Scooby-Doo, The Jetsons, Family Guy, The Simpsons. The list goes on and on. But the most hilarious thing gotta be the porn parodies of popular movies like Womb Raider, Sex Busters, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Balls, Titanic, Twinklite. No wait, that's actually pretty accurate. Missionary Position Impossible 2, make sure you watch the prequel first, Pulp Friction, The Sex Files, Edward Penis. Yeah, do I really need to go on? To sum this all up, yes, there's a porn for everything.
These days, people are getting divorced left and right. It's really not an issue in most parts of the world. You can get divorced for any reason, really. Back in the day, as in way back in the day, like a couple of centuries ago, it wasn't such an easy task. During the 16th and 17th century in France, male impotence was considered a crime and thus legal grounds for a divorce. Basically, if you couldn't get it up, your wife could legally end the marriage. No fucking pressure, or should I say no fucking pressure. And as you can imagine, wives saw this as a way to escape their marriage for any reason really, as all they had to do was accuse their husband of incompetence. Of course, it wasn't that simple though. You see, as with any crime, you need evidence to prove that what you say is in fact true. So when a husband was charged with the crime of erectile dysfunction, he was to demonstrate his powers of erection before an expert team of priests, surgeons and midwives. These experts would carefully examine his equipment to reach an opinion on its elastic tension, natural motion and ability to ejaculate. Should he, against all odds, fail this test, he had but one option left: to demand trial by Congress, wherein he would be given 2 hours to have sex with his accuser, his wife, as the ultimate proof that he could indeed perform in the bedroom. Should he fail this test as well, it would not only result in the dissolution of the marriage, he would also be ridiculed by the public for many years to come. When you're having sex, is it possible to get stuck? Unable to pull out, so to speak? And don't claim you haven't thought about this, we have all thought about this, and believe it or not, it's not a myth, it is actually possible. But what are words compared to an illustration? So, let me illustrate. I actually went to the store and bought a pack of donuts and sausages just for this video. This phenomenon even has a name, which is penis captivus. While science isn't entirely sure why this is happening, what is happening is that the muscles of the vagina clamp down on the penis, which makes it impossible to withdraw. Luckily, this is an extremely rare thing, and in case it should ever happen to you, it usually only lasts for a couple of minutes. Usually. Out of context, things such as a person's saliva, sweat, semen and body odor is often seen as very disgusting. So why aren't we more disgusted by sex and other sexual interactions? A study was conducted to find out why, and what they found was that sexual arousal actually lowers your level of disgust, which in turn allows us to regard sex as a very pleasant experience instead of an unpleasant, disgusting one. Disgust-induced avoidance is the scientific term for not wanting to do something disgusting, and normally you would not want to drink from this glass of juice with a dead insect in it. If you're sexually aroused, however, it's a lot more likely that you won't care and take a sip anyway. Not only do women have longer, multiple and more intense orgasms, they have other ways of achieving it than just regular sex. For example, as much as 15% of women can achieve orgasm by working out. The more scientific term for it would be exercise-induced orgasms, but it's more commonly referred to as coregasm, as it happens when performing certain ab exercises. It's not entirely clear how this happens, but it is, unfortunately for all men, a women exclusive. Anywhere from 1 to 5% of women can also climax by stimulation of their nipples alone, a so-called nipple-gasm. Of course, women doesn't get all the fun, as guys have a much higher chance of actually having an orgasm in the first place. In many studies, men climax around 80% of the time during regular intercourse, while women orgasm as seldom as 25% of the time. If you want to give both parties the maximum probability of success, oral sex is the way to go. Size does in fact matter, not necessarily in the way you think though, as research have found that fat men last significantly longer in bed compared to more slender and fit men. Heavier men are able to make love for an average of 7.3 minutes, while men with a more healthy BMI only last for an average of 1.8 minutes. The reason for this is female hormones. Men with excess fat has higher levels of the female sex hormone called estradiol. This substance disrupts their body's natural male chemicals and slow down their progression towards orgasm. The average length of an erect human penis is roughly between 13 and 15 centimeters, and a penis with a length of less than 7 centimeters is medically referred to as a micro-penis. Now, the question is, of course, is it big enough? Studies show that around half of all men think their dick is too small, while 7 out of 8 women think their man's length is just fine. So for the most part, size isn't as significant as many men seem to think it is. On the other hand, the average depth of the human vagina